gallant old engine. I'm ashamed of you, Duncan, said Skarloey. You should think of your passengers. Passengers are just nuisances. They're always complaining. Skarloey was shocked. That's no way to talk, he said. Passengers are our coal and water. No passengers means no trains. No trains means no railway. Then we'd be on the scrap heap, my engine, and don't you forget it. Thank goodness Renius is coming home. Perhaps he'll teach you sense before it's too late. What has Renius got to do with it? Renius saved our railway, said Skarloey. Please tell us about it, begged Peter Sam. The year before you came, said the old engine, things were very bad. We were on our last wheels. Mr. Hugh was driver and fireman, while the thin controller was guard. He did everything else too, and helped Mr. Hugh mend us in the shed. We expect 2 fresh engines next year, they told us, but we must keep the trains going now. If we don't, our railway will close. How awful, said Peter Sam in sympathy. I tried hard, though I couldn't do much, but Renius understood. It's my turn now, he said. You've done more than your share of hard work. He was often short of steam, but he always tried to struggle to a station and rest there. That, said Skarloey earnestly, is most important with passengers. Pshaw! Exclaimed Duncan. Passengers, Skarloey continued, don't mind stopping at stations. They can get out and walk about. That's what stations are for. But they get very cross if we stop at wrong places, like viaducts. Then they say we're a bad railway and never come back. I remember Renius stopping in a wrong place once, said Skarloey. He couldn't help it, but he made up for it afterwards. That afternoon he had damp rails and a full train. There were passengers even in Beatrice, the guard's van. His wheels slipped dreadfully on the steep bit after the first station, but they gripped at last. The worst's over, he thought. Now we're away. Come along, he sang to the coaches. Come along. Oh, I've got cramp, he groaned. He stopped, unable to move, on the loneliest part of the line. The thin controller and Mr. Hugh examined him carefully. The passengers watched and waited. Renius eyed them anxiously. They looked cross. At last the thin controller stood up. Your valve gear on one side had jammed, he said. We've unfastened the rods and tied them up. Now, Renius, he went on, we need to reach the next station. Can you pull us there on one cylinder? I'll try, sir, but the next station isn't the right station. Will the passengers be cross? Don't worry, smiled the thin controller. They know we can't reach the top station today. The thin controller sanded the rails. Passengers from Beatrice pushed behind. Mr. Hugh gently eased out the regulator. The train jerked and began to move. I'll do it. I'll do it. Everyone cheered, but Renius heard nothing. The thin controller's relying on me. If I fail, the railway will close. It mustn't. I'll get there or burst. Everything blurred. He was too tired to move another yard. But he did. And another, and another, and another. Till I've got there at last, he sighed with relief. It's proud of you I am indeed, said Mr. Hugh. All Renius remembered about the journey down was having to go on going on, and the passengers thanked him. We expected a long walk, they said, but you brought us home. We'll come again and bring our friends. You're a gallant little engine, said the thin controller. When you're rested, we'll mend you ready for tomorrow. Was Renius always ready for tomorrow? Always, smiled Skarloey. Whatever happened, Renius always pulled his trains. It was Duncan who broke the silence. Thank you for telling us about Renius, he said. I was wrong. Passengers are important after all.
Gordon goes foreign. Lots of people travel to the big station at the end of the line. Engines from the other railway sometimes pull their trains. These engines stay the night and go home next day. Gordon was talking one day to one of these. When I was young and green, he said, I remember going to London. Do you know the place? The station's called King's Cross. King's Cross? Snorted the engine. London's Euston. Everybody knows that. Rubbish, said Duck. London's Paddington. I know. I worked there. They argued till they went to sleep. They argued when they woke up. They were still arguing when the other engine went away. Stupid thing, said Gordon crossly. I've no patience. Stupid yourself, said Duck. London's Paddington. Paddington, do you hear? Stop arguing, James broke in. You make me tired. You're both agreed about something anyway. What's that? London's not Euston, laughed James. Now shut up. Gordon rolled away, still grumbling. I'm sure it's King's Cross. I'll go and prove it. But that was easier said than done. London lay beyond the big station, at the other end of the line. Gordon had to stop there. Another engine then took his train. If I didn't stop, he thought, I could go to London. One day he ran right through the station. Another time he tried to start before the fireman could uncouple the coaches. He tried all sorts of tricks, but it was no good. His driver tripped him every time. Oh dear, he thought sadly, I'll never get there. One day he pulled the express to the station as usual. His fireman uncoupled the coaches, and he ran on to his siding to wait till it was time to go home. The coaches waited and waited at the platform, but their engine didn't come. A porter ran across and spoke to Gordon's driver. The inspector's on the platform. He wants to see you. The driver climbed down from the cab and walked over to the station. He came back in a few minutes looking excited. Hello, said the fireman. What's happened? The engine for the express turned over when it was coming out the yard. Nothing else can come in or out. They want us to take the train to London. I said we would if the Fat Controller agreed. They telephoned, and he said we could do it. How's that? Fine, said the fireman. We'll show them what the Fat Controller's engines can do. Come on, said Gordon, let's go. He rolled quickly over the crossings and backed onto the train. It was only a few minutes before the guard blew his whistle, but Gordon thought it was ages. Come on! Come on! He puffed to the coaches. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. We're going to town, sang the coaches. Slowly at first, then faster and faster. We're going to town, we're going to town, we're going to town, we're going to town. Gordon found that London was a long way away. Never mind, he said. I like a good long run to stretch my wheels. But all the same, he was glad when London came in sight. Gordon returned next day. the Fat Controller spoke to his driver and fireman. "I see you had a good welcome in London." "We certainly did, sir. We signed autographs till our arms ached. And Gordon had his photograph taken from so many directions at once that he didn't know which way to look." "Good," smiled the Fat Controller. "I expect he enjoyed himself. Didn't you, Gordon?" "No, sir, I didn't." "Why ever not?" "London's all wrong," answered Gordon sadly. "They've changed it. It isn't King's Cross any more. It's St. Pancras."